Hey there, it's Tara Wagner from theorganicsister.com here for the last video in our Be Kind, Be Organic Q&A video series, helping you grow through your personal challenges. And I'm sitting with a question right now that is really deep, almost painful to read. I'm going to read it so that you guys can really understand it, and then I'm going to do my best to answer it, but I'm going to be honest with you, this is not quite an answer I'm sure I can give in 10 minutes. So the comment or the question was, as a parent of a 21-year-old son, I've already faced a night when I didn't know if the sound of my voice and my love would keep him grounded enough to fight the black hole that had him sitting over a freeway, ringing me to say goodbye. And I thought I knew him best, as his sole custodial parent, and as the one who still struggles with her own depression, but I missed it. The step between messy, private, and selfish, and depressed is paper thin. How can we help our young people find the middle ground? And is it between selfish and spoiled, and socialized and sensitive? Wow. I know depression. I don't even know if I've talked about this a lot on my blog or with other people, but I know depression. I have been in the depths of depression. I have been curled up on a floor when no words could reach me. No ideas of love or light or truth or happiness could reach me. They were these distant ideas. They didn't make sense to me. They were unicorns, you know, they just weren't real. I remember, you know, when I look back to that time, everything was dark. There was no color, there was no flavor, you know, there was nothing. It was just this darkness that was just shrouded over me, and it was like that for years. And it was hard. When I look back over what I needed and what I was dealing with, I know that for myself, depression came from believing it. Believing the pain, believing the lies that the world will tell us about ourselves or about itself or about anything. Believing that this was as good as it got. Believing that the way I felt was my destiny. Believing that sadness, if I experienced sadness, I was always going to experience it. That it doesn't go away. That this was my life sentence. You know, believing that things couldn't get better, and then believing so many things about myself. You know, things that I wasn't even conscious of on a really deep level. I wasn't fully aware that those thoughts were going through my mind, but when I look back over my journals, when I think back to conversations I had, it was just the idea that I wasn't good, that I was broken. And how do you unbreak something? How do you make something good out of something horrible? It was the idea that I didn't deserve it, because if I wasn't experiencing it in this moment, then that was proof that I didn't deserve it. There were so many things wrapped up in depression. And when I think about what would have saved me, what would have pulled me out of that, especially as a child, especially with our children, there are so many things that we teach our kids that we don't mean to teach our kids. Every time we put them off because we have to go to work to pay the bills, they don't understand that, so they learn that they're not important. Every time that they see us dealing with sadness, it becomes their view of the world. You know, I saw my mom dealing with ideas about who she was, and I took on those same ideas about who I was. I saw my mom struggling with beliefs that she was given, of things that she felt that she had to do or should do or couldn't do, and I took on those same things. Whatever our kids experience from us, from other people, from the community at large, it becomes their view of the world. So that when we have these dark views of the world, it's generally because we've done the best we could to make sense of what we've seen and learned. I think the number one thing, what I talk about in organic parenting, what I talk about in my coaching, is to, number one, heal ourselves. Because our kids are learning from everything that we do, everything that we believe, every worry on our face, every tone in our voice, every stress or pain that we feel, our kids feel. And then I think the second thing is to raise them in a way that helps them to learn that they are whole, that they are worthy, that they are deserving. I talk about this a lot in the audio that I offer on my website, The 3 Secrets to Raising Happy, Healthy, Confident Kids. There are so many things that are important when we are taking on the responsibility of caring for these human beings. But some of the most important ones is just not instilling in them the ideas and the fears and the beliefs that were instilled in us over and over again, or that are still in us. The ideas that they're bad if they aren't perfect, because we're not perfect, we're human. But we punish our kids when they make mistakes, so we teach them that they're bad. It's this idea that we have to train them instead of just support them as they learn to trust themselves. If we can so fill the next generation up with love and support and compassion and acceptance, and create environments in which they can make magic, they will make magic. And it's not to say that life is going to be perfect, and it's not to say that we need to blame ourselves or feel guilty, because you know what? Blame and guilt aren't doing any of us any good. But we do get to heal ourselves. We get to forgive ourselves. We get to forgive our kids for being human, because sometimes we have this idea that they shouldn't be, and we just need to forgive that and let it go. But racking ourselves with guilt, sitting in our own pain, instead of leaning into the trust, instead of leaning into the beauty, instead of leaning into the love, instead of leaning into something bigger than this one moment. When we can lean into that, we can create from that. If we can plug into that, we can light up the world, because we are plugged in, right? Plug your light in so that you can light up the world. Plug into truth and love and acceptance and compassion and trust. And you can build relationships. We can build families. We can build the world on that. We can't build anything without it. What do we build without love and acceptance and support? Not a whole lot. So I hope that this has helped the person who asked this. I hope that this has helped some others. I would say lean into love. Lean into wrapping them up in our love. Lean into wrapping them up in our support and our trust. Lean into wrapping them up in the truth of who they are and filling their lives with it. Telling them every day just who they are in the most amazing ways. And when we can do that, we can support them. And when they are supported, when they feel amazing, they're going to do amazing things. People that feel amazing do amazing things. I hope this has helped you guys. Thanks.